What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Okay, we're in the waning days, months, maybe year of one of my favorite and a legendary first ballot Hall of fame boxer, Manny Pacquiao's career. And I just did a video where I said that, man, this is a very dangerous bout that he has with Lucas Matthysse. And I was getting ready to do a video about Freddie Roach and how the trainer fighter partnership between Freddie Roach and he came to an end, and how pretty much Freddie Roach has lost most all of his trainers. All of his fighters. Jose Ramirez, another top ranked fighter, the WBC 140 pound champion, whose fight just got canceled actually yesterday. It lost him, and he said one of the reasons why Jose Ramirez said that he was leaving him is because he didn't get enough hands-on attention from Freddie Roach, and that Freddie Roach is really busy, and he made a switch to Robert Garcia. Now, I've never been a big fan of Freddie Roach, and that's because I wasn't a fan of Freddie Roach. I wasn't a fan of I'm not a fan of Abel Sanchez, not a fan of Teddy Atlas as a trainer. And to me, those guys seem like celebrity trainers. Guys that get fighters that are already developed and put them in a gym. And the reason that the biggest contribution that they have to their careers that I can see from a fan's perspective, this is a fan's perspective. I know we have a lot of, boxers, pro boxers, amateur boxers, coaches that watch the videos and add feedback to the live streams and such. So I'm telling you, this is just my observation as a fan, not being, a highly technical observer of boxing. But I see those type of trainers as being celebrity trainers, and trainers that the most of their value really comes from them serving as a kind of an intermediary between the boxer and the promoter, and also them having an environment where they have a lot of different fighters, so that you can find good sparring. And Freddie Roach, I had never seen, and I'm sure somebody can point out an example where this is the case, but where this is not the case. But I'd never seen Freddie Roach develop a boxer from the beginning of their career. It seems to me as if he got guys who were coming, who are already established in their career. I know that Freddie Roach had spent some time with James Toney, but he didn't raise James Toney from the beginning of James Toney's career. Same thing with Manny Pacquiao. Obviously, he got Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao after Manny Pacquiao had been fighting for a long time, and the like. So when I read this article that came out about Boo Boy Fernandez training him, and some observations that Boo Boy Fernandez had about Manny Pacquiao, I was actually pretty encouraged by what they said, because it was something I hadn't heard from Freddie Roach. And just my novice ears, they said, yeah, we laid out everything, plans A, plans B, plans C, everything. Manny studied them all in earnest, executing and training. What could we ask more? Right? And he says, boxing fans all over the world will see a young Manny Pacquiao this time, throwing a lot of punches, more footwork, head movement, all he's been shown before when he was acclaimed best pound for pound fighter in the world. Fortune said, this is his trainer talking about it. But then they talk about having laid everything out, and like I say again, having a plan A, plan B, plan C. And what I'd seen with Manny Pacquiao, and people had talked about how Manny Pacquiao it's obviously he hasn't had a knockout in, I don't know, since the TKO over Miguel Cotto. But one of the things that I've seen that I thought was a contributing factor to him not having those knockouts, I know a lot of people believe it's because he got off of performance enhancing drugs. And that's the reason why he hasn't been getting the knockouts. I can't say whether that is true or not true, but one thing that I do believe is a valid observation of Manny Pacquiao is that people know what his game plan is. And people knew what he was going to do and then knew what to stay away from. And without even saying it on this video, I could say, okay, what is the one thing you stay away from Manny Pacquiao with? I can count to 5, and then before I count to 5, 90% of the people watching this video are going to say the left hand. You got to watch him jumping in with the left hand. And I think that when Juan Manuel Marquez bouts, that Juan Manuel Marquez, after he had got blitzed in the first round or two of the first of their 4 bouts, once he figured that out and stayed away from that and got the timing on it, because Manny Pacquiao is very quick, he's very heavy-handed. Once he figured that out, then he was really never then again in danger again of getting knocked out. And so I think that had as much or more to do with the fact that the book is out on him than anything else. Because when Manny Pacquiao kind of, came to stardom, it was like he was a whirlwind, and I don't think people really knew what to do with him for a while. And then, of course, he had guys some of the guys he was fighting might have been a little bit longer in the tooth that didn't have the ability to adjust to that. But you could see with the Floyd Mayweather fight that Floyd Mayweather knew perfectly well what he wanted to do to beat Manny Pacquiao, and he knew it. He knew it 2 years before the bout started, which was hit him with the straight, the southpaw kryptonite, which is a straight right hand, and also stay away from that left because that left is coming. And Manny Pacquiao never did have a plan B or a plan C, where somebody had to make an adjustment to something else that Manny Pacquiao was doing. But what I kept hearing what I kept hearing over and over and over again from Freddie Roach was, we're going to get the knockout again. We're going to get the knockout. This is going to be the bout that he's going to get another knockout. He's going to get a knockout, going to get a knockout. Like Freddie Roach's main concern was getting a knockout, Manny Pacquiao getting a knockout, and not really thinking about, win the fight first. Talk about what this particular guy's strengths and weaknesses are, and get Manny Pacquiao to the point where Manny Pacquiao can make adjustments to what the guy's doing. And as a result of making adjustments to what his opponent is doing, right, put that guy in a position where once he changes, he can then go back to what his strength is, and he might be able to actually land what he's good at. In a parallel sport like tennis, right, that's the same. People have strengths, and there are certain things that people like to do. And if you can take away what the other person, eventually somebody's going to try to take away what you like to do. But if you have a plan B where you can go away and do something else as effectively and play to their weakness, then after a little bit of time, you can go back to what your strengths are. So like if you want to go, if your thing is going down the line on the backhand, right? You want to get a short ball, come into the middle of the court, and then go, down the line in tennis. I hate to use the tennis verbiage, but that particular way, because there's like somebody will take a forehand and take you way up off the court, right? Like have a real angled forehand, and when the opponent's on the run, they might give you a short ball back, a ball that lands closer to the net. So the guy that does that then likes to step up, step inside, and then boom, right? Then he goes right down the line, and the opponent is way away from where the second shot he wants to hit is. But sometimes people will catch on to that and say, oh, that's what you want to do. So when you take them wide, instead of going back cross court, they'll go down the line themselves, right? Or they'll drop shot. They'll do something that prevents you from doing your second move, the move that you're planning. And there you got to make that adjustment. But if you can make that adjustment, then they're like, oh crap, all right, now I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not predictable. The person's no longer predictable, right? And once you stop being predictable, then you can lead somebody, you can have somebody kind of sleep on what it is you're trying to get them back to do, like setting up the left hand. Like, what can Manny Pacquiao do to Lucas Matthysse where it will allow Lucas Matthysse to be worried about something and have him then not be prepared for a straight left hand? So when this guy say, a straight A, plan A, plan B, plan C, I'm like, yeah, well, it's a little bit late in the game. Of course, Manny Pacquiao's already a Hall of Famer. He's already won a bunch of titles. His name is already made. But if Manny Pacquiao insists on continuing to fight, and continuing to box, and he doesn't want to retire, then, hey, man, he's got to adjust to where his body is right now. I mean, Manny Pacquiao is going to be a guy that can throw. I mean, he's heavy-handed, without a doubt. I don't think that there's any doubt that guy can punch. I don't think that the juice in and of itself is the reason why he has punching power, right? I think it's because he's very quick, and he's a southpaw. And people oftentimes have hard times with southpaw. Lucas Matthysse, the southpaw that I can recall Lucas Matthysse having a big issue with, I always switch between Lucas Matthysse and Lucas Matthysse, was Zab Judah. Zab Judah caught Lucas Matthysse with a nasty uppercut. So maybe that's gonna, maybe an uppercut. I'll leave it to the boxing technicians. Maybe looking for the uppercut, maybe going to the body more, right? Maybe something like lead right hooks, right, or right jabs to the body, something that will force him back left, and because he has something to worry about, right? Whatever the case is, man, I'll leave that to the Trey X's, to the other guys who are real, trainers, guys or boxers in the ring to say what that can be. But the basic fundamental premise applies across sports. That you gotta be able to do more than one thing. One trick ponies, they'll figure out that trick. And your athleticism and all that might still get you over the hump. But like, what was Manny going to do when he realized he was in there against Jeff Horn, and Jeff Horn was going to mug him, elbow, headbutt him? What do you do in that particular situation, right? He could have done what I guarantee you. I know what Andre Ward would have done. You hit him with an elbow, you're getting 3 elbows back. You hit him with a hip shot, you're getting a harder, lower hip shot back, and a look in the eye like, nah, man, we're not. You do that good. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? But anyway, man, it just would be interesting to see if what these guys can do and what Manny Pacquiao can do is, give Lucas Matthysse some things to look at that he's not expecting. And if what they're saying about this plan A, plan B, plan C thing is good, hey, man, I wish the best for him. But that was clearly not something that a guy like, from what I can see, that Freddie Roach was interested in. Like Freddie Roach and Abel Sanchez, or better, you'll just stick on Freddie Roach, because what Floyd Mayweather's dad would call him Fred, Freddie, the joke coach Roach, the joke coach Roach, because that's all you really ever do here. You hear Floyd Mayweather, a senior, talk about adjustments all the time. When you listen to Andre Ward talking about what he's doing in the ring, he's talking about making adjustments. When he was saying what he was doing with, he was talking to Clarissa Shields, like, man, you just wanna go in there and knock the door down. Sometimes you can't knock the door down. Sometimes you got to walk around the back, tap, see if the back window's open, do something like that. See if there's some way to get in that way. And because if they see you coming through the front door, they're going to batten down the hatches, and you're not going to be able to get that at a certain level. So you got to figure out a way to get something else going on. And then once they have to worry about that, then you might be able to come back, and now it's going to be wide open for you. But man, I think Manny Pacquiao, like, that speech that I believe that might have been on Fight Hype, but that talk that Andre Ward gave to Clarissa Shields, man, I think that's something that Andre Ward could Ward could probably have with Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao seems like that type of guy that is just, is trying to do the same thing over and over again. He's got such athletic talent and, and experience in doing what he wants to do that, he's always looking for the knockout instead of just letting it happen. But anyway, it is what it is, and we'll see what goes on when this fight happens. And with that, I'm out. Peace.